La 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 la, you were descending the stairs while humming a song. Your school bag was swinging loosely from one shoulder while your freshly ironed white blouse was tucked neatly into a pleated pastel miniskirt. Your hair was tied in a ponytail and was swaying with each step, the faint sound of your shoes tapping against the floorboard announcing your arrival. At the dining table, your elder brother Jungsu sat with his back straight, having his breakfast while his other hand was busy typing on his mobile phone. He was seemingly happy, enjoying himself until he caught sight of you. His brows pulled together, lips tightening as his eyes slowly scanned from your shoe up to the hem of your skirt. With wide eyes, he placed the slice of bread down onto the ceramic plate with an audible clink. Why, he yelled in his sharp, authoritative voice, go and change. You think I will let you go? You looked at his direction and sighed, exasperation already bubbling. Opa, please, let me enjoy my life. Stop behaving like that old aunties of our neighborhood. Now you have grown up and getting married soon. Your voice was laced with teasing sarcasm, but you saw the flicker of irritation in his eyes as he glared at you. I have not even married yet, and you are talking about my divorce. Now go and change before I call Ioma and tell her. He shouted just like a typical overprotected, annoying brother. You crossed your arms over your chest. Well, for your kind info, the skirt is gifted by Ioma on my 16th birthday, so no use telling her. His jaw flexed without another word. He stood up and started walking towards you. You gulped, taking few steps back, but before he could reach you, the sound of front door unlocking made you both pause. The familiar scent of warm bread and butter wafted in. It was your father who stepped inside, wearing his usual apron dusted with flour. From the small bakery he owned just down the street, he had a folded newspaper in his hand, reading as he walked forward, his glasses slightly sliding down his nose. And that's when you ran the horses of your mind. Widening your eyes, you faked a tremble in your lower lip and dramatically called out, Opa, please don't scold me like this. See, I'm scared. Jungsu frowned, utterly confused by your sudden change in tone. Your father looked up from the newspaper, his gaze immediately catching the sight of you. Jungsua! Your brother's head snapped towards him and he gulped down as his father was glaring at him. Dad, no, 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 you're mistaken. She's just lying. Before he could finish, your father had already grabbed one of his house slippers from the shoe rack and started walking towards him with a glare that could cut glass. Smack. Oh, Dad, listen to me. You dare make your sister cry? You bit your lip to keep from laughing, but a tiny giggle escaped as Jungsu yelped and darted down the hallway, holding his head and muttering under his breath. Ah, Dad, please! He screamed as your father threw his other slipper on him. Your father then returned to you, his expression instantly softening. Don't mind him, he's just overreacting. You hugged him, enjoying the comfort of his warmth. Ah, Dad, I love you so much. Now go, dear, you are already 10 minutes late for school. He said, smiling as he caressed your hair. You nodded. You bid him a goodbye and left for your school. The cities were buzzing with morning activity. Students walked in groups, chattering about upcoming exams and weekend plans. Vendors called out, selling hot dog and warm milk tea. You walked briskly, the breeze brushing. At first, you felt confident. After all, it was just a skirt, but as you approached the school gate, you began noticing the glances. A couple of seniors whispered something under their breath, their smirk making your stomach twist. Idiots. You muttered under your breath, rolling your eyes. You walked up to the security guard and handed him your ID card, even he hesitated. That's when the regret hit you. Maybe Opa was right. If there was not any problem, then why would everyone be staring at me? You thought to yourself. Your body covered with a sweat, you look at an ID card packed with your trembling hands and were about to walk through the gate when you felt a sudden warmth at your back. A shadow fell over you, blocking the morning sun. Something heavy and soft slipped over your shoulders. Slowly, you turned your head, and there he was, Jungkook, your bully. The boy who lived to tease you in class, who always stole your lunch bread, who called you shoddy even though you were not that short. His dark eyes had no mockery right now, only something unreadable. He tucked the hoodie zipper up, hiding. Don't remove it, you miss shoddy. Your heart skipped a beat, a warmth of the hoodie seeping into your skin. He then turned around to walk away after glaring at boys when you took a step forward, calling out loud enough for him to hear. And what if I don't wear it? I don't even like black. The words left your lips with a teasing Lilith, expecting him to turn around with that usual lazy smirk and some sarcastic comment. Instead, he stopped mid step. For a moment, he didn't move, then slowly, deliberately, he turned back. You gasp. Jungkook low sharp, almost a growl. Don't you have mind, crackhead? Why do you always make problem for yourself? He yelled out, making you flinch. He never behaved like that before. Do you know how everyone look at you? You have grown up, Ryan, so start behaving like an adult. The tone was not teasing, it was not even protective, it was jealous. You flinched under his gaze, feeling your stomach twist into knots. You had never seen him this serious, not with you. You looked down. He realized that you got a little scared because of his sudden action. He let out a deep breath, and with that, he left. He stepped back and turned towards the gate. The boys who had been staring were now fidgeting under the weight of his glare. You stood frozen for a few seconds, your cheeks burning. Wiping the sweat from your forehead, you touched your cheeks with your trembling hands and left. As you were walking through the quiet hallway with your red cheeks, you saw a group of girls approaching you, their perfectly styled hair bouncing with each step. You recognized them instantly. It was Jungkook's fan club. They were infamous in school not for academics, not for the sports, but for the way they tore any girl. At the group front, it was Ria, tall, slim, with a smile that never reached her eyes. One of her friends, a smaller girl with bleached hair, whispered something loudly enough for you to hear. She's wearing Jungkook's hoodie, Miss Beauty Queen. Ria's gaze dropped to the back hoodie wrapped around you, her lips curling into displayer. She stepped forward, her perfume sweet but suffocating. Take it off, or I will make sure you never have a day in school again. Your stomach dropped, but still you shook your head. No. The fake smile vanished from her face. She turned slyly to her group and gestured them. Two of her minions nodded and stepped forward as they grabbed the hoodie. Ria crouched down so that her face was inches from yours. Her eyes were cold, her voice dripping with venom. She yelled, glaring at you, her hand pressed your cheek. The group walked away, laughter echoing behind them, the black hoodie swinging from Ria's arm like a trophy. You sat there on the floor for a moment, the sting in your knees overshadowed by the sting in your chest. Your eyes blurred with tears as you clutched, preventing yourself from sobbing. At Canteen, the clatter of cutlery and the low murmur of lunchtime chatter filled the canteen. Students huddled at the tables, laughing over shared meals, but you sat alone in the corner. Your lunch was not touched. You pushed a spoon through your rice, trying to focus on eating, but the memory of Ria and her minions' earliest day burned. You blinked rapidly, willing the tears not to fall down. Across the room, Ria and her friends sat at their usual spot, laughing loudly over something one of them said. You caught Ria's eyes for the briefest second. You let out a low sigh. Suddenly, Jungkook stepped in with his friends. His presence instantly drew attention. Conversation deep. Girls straightened their hair while boys tried to act cooler. He scanned the room casually, his eyes sweeping from table to table until they landed on you. That slow, familiar smile curled on his lips. Wait for me here, he told his friends, already heading towards your table. His friends shared non-smirks with each other as they knew where actually he was heading to. You were looking down with a sad pout when he slid into the seat beside you while grabbing your lunchbox and pulling it towards himself. You flinched and looked up only to see Jungkook. Your heartbeat raised and your cheeks flushed again. Hey, give me back! But he was already digging in, taking a bite with your fork like it was the most natural thing in the world. Ria and her group went quiet. You could practically feel their glare. Jungkook chewed them, looked at you over, his expression shifting slightly. Hey, where is my hoodie? Don't tell me you remove it. You froze, glancing instinctively towards Ria's table. She was still watching, her smile sharp and warning. You looked down. I threw it in the dustbin. Jungkook has narrowed. What, are you mad? Why would you do that? You know how expensive it was? You didn't answer, your fingers tightened. The lump in your throat was growing too big to speak. Why an answer? I'm talking to you. Your eyes stung. Before you could stop it, tears welled up and you just stood up, wanting to leave before he noticed. But Jungkook had already noticed it. He poked his inner cheeks. What's the matter, Ryan? Your voice failed you and your gaze darted once again towards Ria. Jungkook followed your line of sight and saw her, wearing his black hoodie and glaring at you. His jaw tightened, the playful air gone. He understood who was actually behind all this. With nose flaring, he stood up abruptly and strode towards Ria's table, the sound of his steps loud against the floor. Take it off. Ria blinked, faint innocence. Why? I found it in the dustbin. I liked it, so I wore it, and now it's my. Stop lying. His voice was sharp enough to make the surrounding tables go silent. Ria shifted uncomfortably, glancing at her friends, but his glare didn't waver. Give it back. Now don't compel me to do something. He shouted with red eyes. Ria peeled the hoodie off, showing it at him. Before she could turn away, he leaned forward slightly. If I ever see you near Wyan, it will be your last day in the school, got it? Ria flinched, her confident mask cracked, and without another word, she grabbed her pack and hurried out, with her minions trailing behind. Jungkook turned, walking back to you, looking into your innocent eyes for a moment. He draped the hoodie over your shoulder again. Next time someone dares to mess up with you, just tell me, okay? His hand came up, fingers brushing through your hair briefly before he let go. Your cheeks warmed under the gesture. In library. After a while you sat in the quiet sanctuary of library, the sun casting golden beams through the tall windows. Your books were spread out, pen tapping idly against your notebook as you reviewed your notes. Suddenly the chair beside you scraped back softly and Jungkook slid into it without asking. Ryan, I need help with this math equation. With red cheeks, you glanced at the notebook he pushed towards you. The problem was so basic, you almost laughed. This is easy, look. You leaned over, explaining step by step, your finger moving across the page, but as you spoke, you felt his eyes on you, not on the notebook. You glanced up. His kiss was not on the numbers. You straightened and frowned slightly. Hey, stop staring. If you don't listen to me, how will I understand? But you didn't get to finish. In one swift move, he leaned forward and smiled. Your eyes flew wide. The words seemed to still. The faint rustle of pages, the ticking of wall clock, the sunlight across the table, everything faded. Your heartbeat thundered in your ears, and before you knew it, your fingers curled. Without a word, you grabbed your things and bolted out of the library. Jungkook sat there for a moment, the tips of his ears glowing red. A small smile curled on his lips. Time skipped at night. You were tossing and turning on your bed every time you closed your eyes. The scene in the library replayed like a loop. You rolled over in bed, pressing a pillow to your face to muffle the small squeal that escaped. Does he like me too? You muttered to yourself with your cheeks flushing red. The next morning was a flurry of noise and movement. Today was your brother Jungsu's wedding. The house was decorated with ribbons and flowers, the scent of lilies mixing with the sweet aroma of traditional wedding treats. Relatives and family friends filled the hall and were laughing and chatting to each other. You had dressed in a soft pastel hanbok with delicate embroidery, your hair styled neatly with small jewel pins. Everyone who passed complimented you, but you only smiled politely, your mind still wandering elsewhere. Balancing a tray of drinks, you weaved through the crowd, serving guests with a gentle smile. In the center of the stage, Jungsu stood beside his bride, bowing and accepting gifts from well-wishers. You paused for a moment, watching your brother's proud smile as he shook hands with old friends. Your heart softened for all the overprotective tendencies. He looked truly happy today. You raised your camera to take a picture of him, adjusting the lens, and then froze. Through the viewfinder, you caught sight of Jungkook. He was hugging your brother. Your fingers went numb. The camera nearly slipped from your hands. You quickly lowered it, blinking as if your eyes had tricked you, but no, it was really him. What he is doing here? You thought to yourself with your flushed cheeks. Jungkook looked over. Wayan? Jungsu looked at him. Hey, you know her? That's my younger sister, Wayan. He said, smiling. Mayan, come here. Your feet feel glued to the floor, but somehow you walked up to the stage, bowing politely before Jungkook, pretending to be formal. Hi, nice meeting you. Your cheeks instantly became red, and you quickly looked away in attempt to hide your blushing cheeks. Mayan, this is my best friend. He said, introducing him. You fake cheeky smile. Oh, hi, Jungkook. Jungkook chuckled at your fake acting. I need to go. You said, and with blushing face, you ran away from there. The noise of the wedding faded as you slipped into the quiet hallway. The sound of your footsteps echoed faintly against the wooden floor. You exhaled, pressing a hint, but then you gasped, spanning around. It was Jungkook. Low teasing. So why are you sweating, little one? In them, as if the connection between you had just become, Jungkook's smirk deepened. The world is too small, princess. I never thought I would meet you here. Me too. Ignoring you completely, you are sure they had gone red as ripe tomatoes, your cheeks. Let them. You stared up at him, completely at a loss. Low husky. I can't keep you out of my mind. A hand landed on Jungkook's shoulder. It was firm and heavy. You both froze. Slowly, as if in a horror movie, you turned towards shore ahead, and there you saw your father, arm crossed, expression somewhere between I'm about the sky. From now on, you won't be able to keep me out of your mind either. Jungkook blinked, you gulped, Jungkook stepped back, giving him a cheeky smile, and bolted down the hallway at Olympic speed. Wait, what? Dad, please! But your dad was already charging after him, slippers squeaking against the floor like he was on a mission from heaven itself. Yay, come back here, Romeo. Aren't you gonna miss her now? Uncle, it was just a hello. You giggled. Half of the guests in the hall leaned towards each other, whispering to each other. You couldn't decide if you wanted to laugh, cry, or both, as they both were looking so funny at that moment.